Hello and welcome to my class. Today we're going to run through a short vinyasa practice where we'll work on building strength through the legs and the upper body. So let's get started. We're going to start in child's pose. So we're just going to sit back to our heels, arms out in front, and we're just going to start coming to the breath. Set yourself an intention for this practice and just breathe. Slowly come forward to hands and knees. And we're just going to come back and forward over our wrists. Keeping the fingers spread wide apart, gripping the mat. Maybe start doing some circles towards the right side. And then coming back around. And then we're going to flip our palms so our fingers face our knees. And just start pulling back and forward. With this, you do not want to be feeling any sort of discomfort or pain. Just maybe a bit of tightness or something like that's normal, but yeah, you never want to feel pain. The job here is just to warm them up a little bit before we start putting weight on them. And then from there, we're just going to push forward slightly and then lift our hips up to downward facing dog. From here, to start pedaling out your dog, straightening one leg at a time, spreading fingers wide apart, gripping the mat. Take one nice big inhale, pushing the hips up to the sky. Then as we exhale, I just want to step forward to the front of the mat. From here, we're going to come into a halfway lift. And then we're going to exhale, fold. Do one more of those as we come up to a halfway lift. Exhale, fold forward. Next time we're going to rise up to standing. Palms touching, reaching up. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Coming into a halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And then from here, we're just going to step straight back to plank pose. From here, we're just going to hold plank pose. Pushing the mat away. Tucking the tailbone to engage the core. Option to come down to knees. If that's what you're feeling or that's your capability at this stage in your journey, or join me in full plank. And then from here, we're going to exhale back to downward facing dog. We're going to roll forward, back to plank pose, exhale, downward facing dog as we start creating this big waving motion as we come forward, rounding the spine, and then bending our knees as we exhale, downward facing dog. Do two more of these at your own pace. And then back and downward facing dog. From here, we're going to walk forward to the front of the mat again, coming into a halfway lift. Exhale, we fold. Inhale, we reach up. Hands to heart center as we exhale. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale, fold. This time we're going to step back, plank pose. Lowering down for a chaturanga. Coming right down to our bellies. As we inhale, just into a little baby cobra. Exhale, lower down. Do 2 more of these. Inhale, baby cobra. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise. Exhale, lower. And from here, we're just going to untuck our toes and push back up the plank pose, and then exhale back to downward facing dog. From here, we're going to lift our right leg up to the sky, come into a three-legged dog. We're going to come forward, knee taps, right tricep. And we're going to come back three-legged dog, and then we're going to come over, touch left tricep. Back to three-legged dog, and then we're going to come through, knee to nose. Hold, and then step it. Slide your right thumb, drop the back knee as we come into a low lunge, asana. Inhale, and here we're going to exhale. We're going to push back, half splits as we fold over that front leg. Inhale, come back. Low lunge. And from here we're going to rise up to a high lunge. And we're going to lower back, just so our knee touches or just above the mat. Then we're going to push back to high lunge. 2 more of these as we lower down. And then rise. Lower down. And then rise back up to a high lunge. From here, hands to heart center. Dragging our foot forward as we come into a crouching warrior three. But nice, generous bend in that front knee, even bringing it over our toes as we crouch down, screwing off our hips. Then exhale, we're going to rise up, straightening that leg. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, rise. Feel the wobble. I've got a wobble today and a reasonable strong flow this morning. So yeah, the legs are a little bit sore. And then back up, warrior three. And then from here, we're just going to step back slowly, coming back into that high lunge. On the inhale, exhale, planting our hands down, free runner's lunge, stepping back plank pose. Coming forward, and then we're going to slowly lower down on the count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, hold, and then press back up the plank. Do 1 more of these as we come forward, lower down, 3, 2, 1, then push back up to upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Should be starting to feel nice and warm now as we lift our left leg up to the sky. And then we bring it in, touching our left tricep. And then we come back. Right tricep. Back to three-legged dog as we bring it forward. Knee to nose. And then planting it. Side our left hand. Dropping the back knee. Inhale into a low lunge. Just take a breath here. Planting our hand as we push back into that half splits. Folding over that left leg. We're going to push forward. And on the inhale, we're going to rise up to a high lunge. And exhale, we're going to lower down, touch. Inhale, we're going to rise. Exhale, lower. Inhale, rise. 1 more of these as we exhale, we lower. Inhale, rise. Bringing hands to heart center as we push forward, slowly dragging that foot. Coming into that warrior three, bent leg. Option B, hands at heart center, or reaching out in front, or even just back. And then as we exhale, we rise. And hold on. Exhale, rise, straightening that leg. Exhale, lower. And inhale, rise. Then we're going to step back slowly into high lunge on the inhale. Exhale, planting our hands, stepping back to plank pose. From here, we're going to come forward on our toes again, lowering down to the count of 5. 4, 3, 2, 1. Push back up the plank. Go again. 3, 2, 1. Hold. Flipping the toes. Pushing up. Upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Whew. Don't know about you, but I'm getting warm. So I'm going to take a big inhale through the nose. Exhale, side out your mouth. One more of them as we inhale. Exhale, side out your mouth. We're going to go through that same sequence, just a little quicker this time though. As we inhale, right leg to the sky. Stepping forward into a low lunge. On the inhale. Exhale, we push back. Inhale forward. And stepping up to high lunge. Bring the hands to heart center. Come forward into that crouching warrior. Exhale, rising up. Warrior free. Hold warrior free. Feel the wobble. Then we're going to slowly, gentle as possible, step back into a high lunge. On the inhale, dropping our palms, stepping back plank pose. This time we're going to run for a vinyasa as we lower down. Chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Left leg lifts the sky, three-legged dog. As we slowly come forward, planting up in front of the mat, dropping the back leg, we come into a low lunge. On the inhale. Exhale, we're going to push back into that half splits, folding over that left knee. As we come forward on the inhale. As we lift ourselves up, come into that high lunge. And we're going to step forward, pull our weight forward, come into warrior free, crouching warrior. Exhale, straighten that front leg. And then slowly and subtly, we're going to come back into that high lunge. Dropping the palms down in front of us, stepping back plank pose. Coming forward, going through that vinyasa, or just straight back to down dog. Whatever's in your practice today. And we're going to meet in downward facing dog. So from here, we're going to go through some downward dog push-ups. So as we inhale, I want us to lift our hips up to the sky. Then we're just going to come forward into a push-up. Then push straight back to downward facing dog. Do 4 more of these. As we come forward, hold, push back, downward dog. Forward, hold, back to downward facing dog. 2 more. Forward, push back to downward facing dog. Last one. Forward, hold, downward facing dog. Whew, it's warm. Just going to walk our hands back to meet our feet. From here, we're just going to grab both elbows. And just sway in this folded position. Slowing down the breath slightly. Just breathing. We'll pull up to a halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale, fold back forward. I'm going to slowly rise up to standing. Vertebra at a time, coming into Tadasana mountain pose at the back of the mat. Inhale, reaching up to the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center. Inhale, reaching up. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift on the inhale. Exhale, fold, and then we're just going to walk our hands forward back to downward facing dog. Take a couple of breaths in down dog. From here, we're going to lift our right leg up to the sky. Then we're going to bring it forward by our right thumb. Dropping that back foot. Straightening the front. So we peel our body open. Come to a triangle pose. Straighten that front leg or having a nice little micro bend in it. And then we're going to bend that front leg slightly as we're coming into a reverse warrior on the inhale. Exhale, warrior two. Trying to sink nice and deep into warrior two. Nice line of energy. Front fingertips to back fingertips. Pushing forward, reversing that warrior again. Exhale, sweeping your hands down. Stepping back, plank pose. This time we're going to hold plank pose. We're going to roll onto a side plank on the left side. So rolling on, either stacking your feet or just having them apart like this. And just coming into a side plank on the left arm. Holding for another 5. 3, 2, 1. Rolling back over plank pose. And we're just going to go straight into the opposite side as we roll over. Lifting our hips up. Pressing the mat away. Side plank on the right side. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Plank pose. Coming forward on our toes, lowering down for chaturanga. Inhale, upward facing dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg comes up to the sky. Stepping it forward. Positioning that back foot as we come into a triangle. And peeling that right arm up. Opening up the heart to the sky as we come into a triangle pose. Option to either rest your left arm on your ankle, hover it, or just fingertips touching the mat. As we inhale, I want us to straighten our front leg and we're going to reverse that warrior, following that arm up. Exhale, warrior two. Holding warrior two here. Just taking a couple of breaths on warrior two. Coming forward, flipping the palm, reversing that warrior. From here, we're going to sweep our arms down, plank pose. We're going to lower down on the count of 5. So as we come forward, 4, 3, 2, 1, we're going to hold for 5. This is the last little bit of stream. Hang in there. 2, 1, plank pose. Exhale back to downward facing dog. Whew. Sure hot here. From here, we're just going to drop our knees to the mat. I'm going to scoot forward. And we're just going to lower down to the back. It's not quite over yet. We're just going to finish off with a little bit of core. So when you come down, I just want you to lift your shoulders off the mat, extending the feet out in front of it, coming into low boat. We're just going to go through 10 low to high boat. So high boat, exhale, lower boat. Go through this motion. 5 more. Engaging the core. Lowering down for 2 more. Holding boat at the top. Exhale, release. Down to our back. Gonna bring our knees into our chest, give them a big hug. Extending that left leg out in front of us. Scooching the hips over towards the right a bit as we roll over. Coming into that supine twist. Right arm out to a side, shoulders touching the mat. Slowing down here. All the hard work's done. Let's enjoy the final stages of this flow. Slowly rolling back onto our backs. Bringing knees back into our chest as we give them a big hug. Extending that right leg out in front of us. As we bring that left knee over. Nice spinal twist. Rolling back. Just going to bring our feet in slightly, setting up for a bridge pose, final pose, before we go into Shavasana. So just fingertips, touching your Achilles tendons, taking a nice big inhale. As we exhale, we're just going to push our hips up, pushing into our heels. Exhale, let it all go. Feet splaying out to the corner of the mat, flipping our palms. From here, we're just going to come back to our breath. And just enjoy this last minute or two in Shavasana. Relaxing your body heavy into the mat. Releasing tension out of your jaw and your face. And just breathing. You're welcome to stay in Shavasana for a little longer if you'd like, but this is where I'll finish up. Thank yourself for showing up, giving yourself this time. A few tough little moments in that flow where you might have pushed your body slightly, or you just come back to these kind of flows again and again, and it just all gets easier. Thanks so much for supporting my channel and flowing with me. If you like this content, please subscribe and like and even comment. Tell me what you may have liked or might like more of in up and coming classes. But for now, thank you. Namaste.